Here's our boards. After taking them out of the etch tank, I rinsed them. They're in the splash tank. The next step is to remove the toner, and you do that with acetone. This is nail polish remover. It's 100% pure acetone. That matters because not all nail polish is, and you want two things. One, you need it to be acetone, and two, you want it to be pure. This is 16 fluid ounces for $2. It was less expensive to buy the small container than it was to buy a quart of it, and maybe even a gallon of it at the hardware store. So I saved a little money by doing that. You see that toner comes right off with it. You can see the marker there where I made the marks on the bottom. Get a little bit for the next board. It's pretty copper colored there, bright and shiny. We can see our note that we put on there. I need a little more. I've still got a little bit that's not quite off. There we go. Let's use it on this one too and wipe it down. Last board. Now, a couple of things to point out. Here on the one on the laminator, I had taped the design to the board, and I didn't get all the sticky from the tape off, so I have a couple of artifacts here where the copper didn't come off because there was a protective layer that was invisible for all effects and purposes. Iron 1, I'm going to have to use a meter on a couple of the traces, but for the most part it looks pretty good. I'm just concerned about that one right there. For something like that, you could bridge it with solder, or there's also pens that have conductive ink and you can draw the trace on. Now this is the iron number 2. This is the one where we had to use a lot more ink on it, and it looks like I didn't get it on quite heavy enough in some areas. I have some concerns about this board. Maybe that's what I get for being in a hurry. Maybe I should have just wiped the slate and tried the iron transfer again, but I'll check the points from one point to the next with a meter and see if they're good, and if they are, then I'll go ahead and use the board. It's just not as clean as what I would like, but you know, working is working. That one's an iron transfer. See, that one came out really good. I used the same technique on both of them. And this is the laminator.